Um, let's start it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm back once again here with Blake.
What's the podcast called?
Who cares? This is the podcast. It's just the podcast. um,
Okay. Go.
okay, fine.
Roll with the punches.
Let's roll with it. Alrighty. So today, once again, I'm back here with my mentor. I've borrowed more of his gear, and we now have 3 cameras, which is cool. And we're talking about the people we've been checking out recently, or just in general.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was people we looked up to.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because these are the people that I brought to the table. I haven't been checking out recently. It's just people that I. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll get to that.
It was just people you were looking into, you know.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So do you want to go first, or should I?
Why don't we talk about? Let's talk about why it's important. Why I want to know, why did you choose this topic? How many people did you think we should have brought? I brought 3.
Yeah. I also.
I
bought
bet
it.
you can bet what the one is.
Yeah, I know the one.
What is the one?
Michael Jackson.
We apologize for that interrupted service.
Yeah, and we're back. Cool. So we were talking about. So you were asking me why I chose this.
Yes.
I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about our influences and things that we find interesting. And I've been checking out a lot of new people, and like trying to really understand them. So I knew I'd have something to talk about, and I know you usually have something to talk about when it comes to this. So
I have something to talk about everything.
yeah, I know. That's why I've got him on the podcast.
One day we should talk about like what makes a couch comfortable. Because this is a strange experience to me. I must say. Like to me, this is a sleeping couch. Like this is a couch that you lie down and watch TV on, not to sit.
Yeah, I know, but we are in a TV room.
Yeah, but I'm saying you lie down.
Yeah.
You don't sit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
so how I interpreted your vibes, your topic was, I thought. So I didn't take it as current. I just thought who has, sorry man, my throat, like I think I'm getting sick. So my throat, like I'm coughing the whole time. I apologize
That's all good.
to all the thousands and thousands of viewers out there. We appreciate each one of the 70 of you.
Shut up.
Yeah, no. So I took it as like, who, past and present, is timeless to me. Like who has brought together, has been able to make music over different genres and keep it interesting. Because there's many bands and artists and acts out that are like hip or cool, whatever it is, but then like I feel like they either get boring because they've either put themselves in a box and not allow themselves to move out of it. So like it just became like just boring. Like there was no creativity from that. And that for me is like was cool for a season, and then we move on. And we kind of like maybe they're still going, and some people are enjoying them because some people are finding it new. But to me, it's like I'm a bit bored. And I feel like the artists that are relevant in this category to me, in this topic, are the ones that have been able to capture my interest over more than one album, over more than one song, over more than one genre. I found that was what made someone eligible to be in this category for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's so easy for someone to come and kind of stick in one genre, And especially if you're gonna talk like full on commercial, the people that can go, they can stay currently commercial, because commercial music changes in itself because of other people bringing like new things into it. So the nature of commercial pop changes all the time. So it's quite easy to stay current commercial,
Mm-mm.
but not so as much to be individual on your own track
Yeah.
and current. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
And
you mean.
that's like the difference for me.
Mm.
Anyways, who's gonna go first? Or do you have anything to add?
I don't know. Yeah, that I didn't quite go that route. I just wanted to talk about artists, and kind of break them down a bit. I thought it'd be fun. Um, and yeah, that's a great thing. Like what I've done is I've looked at people from which I thought I could learn something more, like in terms of the way they approach music, especially within pop music, because I've been looking into that a bit more, and I'm quite new to it. So that's why I chose the people I chose.
Mm.
Yeah. Um. So should I name my first person?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So for me, I started off with Charlie Puth because I've been spending a lot of time with him.
Okay.
Now, I think he's someone who would definitely not fit into your category within the next 4 years or so, because he's quite cheesy. He tends to follow trends. But
Look, I have nothing wrong with cheese, hey.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm working on cheese myself, but it's just not my type of music. I don't. Like, there's a couple of songs I dug, but then there just wasn't been enough to make me go, I'm gonna follow you now.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm the same, especially his
I'm not
latest
saying
track,
that
yeah.
I'm not saying that he's a bad musician or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that I disqualify him as a contributor to music or anything. It's just about the way that I interpreted this was differently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I
definitely.
mean? Because there's so many. I mean, the fact that here's something we always neglect, because we sometimes go, "Oh, the guys on commercial radio and it's cheese," and hear people like moan, especially artists. I guess
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never heard someone who's not a musician not moan about this, because they don't think about
Yeah,
it.
it's
But
like, oh, it's so familiar.
all of our
I hate
friends,
it.
yeah, all of our friends, all the moaners, and us sometimes. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
we
moaning.
all are, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, but anyway, like, it's just a personal. Oh, what I was saying is that the fact that anyone that's made it onto commercial radio, outside of South Africa, it's on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Outside of South Africa has they had to have been good.
Yeah.
They may be producing a certain type of music which may be bubblegum to me or you or anyone, but they had to have been on a certain level to have been there. Do you know what I mean? Like, labels don't sign people that are nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
and in South Africa, what I do notice is that sometimes the people that make it big are definitely subpar musicians.
Okay.
Not all of them,
Okay, sure. I mean,
but
I
many
don't
of
know.
them.
Yeah.
In contrast to the States, when you look at like an Ariana Grande who sings pretty, middle of the park, commercial music, but like a killer singer.
Yeah, yeah. killer
Justin
singer.
Bieber, as much as everyone will go hate on him, brilliant musician.
Yeah, brilliant.
You
musician,
know,
yeah.
all of these people, even locally, like we got some guy like Jimmy Nevis, who does it all himself. All his shows, he MDs himself. He makes all the backtracks himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, super hardworking, super intelligent, super creative within music. The amount of work that he puts into his shows is more than what most jazz musicians put into their stuff over numerous months. Do you know what I mean? Like, the hard work is there and it shows.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, anyway, sorry.
That's all good. That's all good.
Charlie Puth.
Yeah, Charlie Puth. Yeah, see, Charlie, I think he's someone he's a fantastic musician who's played the game very well. Because he started on YouTube, and you see, he was playing, like, if you look at his old stuff, it's very old YouTube. So he understood. He's someone who's always understood where he was, and it's difficult not to respect that. It's because the music itself is well made. And that's what I've been enjoying about him. Like, he's like the king of that. Rather, I don't know. I think of it as like a grassroots pop type of thing, where it's kind of you have simple layers working together to make a song that's very, like, that's just hip, and fun. And I have that same experience of you. Like, there'll be some tunes that just like pop out. I'm like, oh, this is great, and then some songs down the way where it starts getting a bit cheesy. Like he mentions his old girlfriends too much. Like it's like, oh, okay.
So the male Taylor Swift.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, this guy's been around. But I love him though. Yeah, and just that's what I find interesting because you have because that's one thing that's very different between pop and jazz, where jazz has different. You know what I mean?
I just saw a comment, sorry, on a video that I'm gonna share with people later on, and this lady says, "I'm a 65-year-old grandma. Best halftime show ever."
Oh, Blake.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, sorry.
It's all good. Yeah. Anyway, so I've just been enjoying watching the way he uses those layers. Yeah.
So I mean, like, I'm super out of touch with any of his music. I mean, since I stopped teaching high school, I kind of got out of a lot of those things
Yeah, yeah.
because I used to like arrangements for these boys when you have these shows and stuff, and it was supposed to be a jazz band, but we had some great singers at the time, and so we ended up doing like like many of the other schools we did competitions were doing pop music, so we had to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was kind of in touch with Pop of the Day, and Charlie Puth was like one of the songs I arranged.
Mm.
But since that, I can't even remember what the name of the song is. I have no clue what he's doing. I do know that there's been a recent-ish song out on radio.
Yeah.
I would never be able to sing it to you, and I probably wouldn't be able to identify it either. Maybe I'd recognize his voice. But how about you play me something of his, Daniel?
Okay. Now this.
So that I can like kind of, you can maybe talk me through what you like about it.
Sure. Like so, this is probably his biggest hit, and it's the one that I really really like. It's called Attention.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah. So I just like the way he uses the layers very cleverly. The production's like very very simple and to the point. I appreciate it. You know.
You know, it's interesting that I noticed for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when we listen to these pop songs and like autotune and melodyne vibes, you know, autotune and pitch correction is so unashamedly used in pop music.
Yeah, definitely.
And me as a, you know, mix and producer, I tend to try and shy away from it and use it as sparingly as possible. And that's such a bad habit of me. It's just, because you know what, actually, like that, many of these guys, sometimes we think autotune is added because they can't sing. There is that like sort of myth thing.
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to going, it's actually just a effect because it really changes the character of the voice and it creates that pop sound that you want. And it really does make the voice sound great.
Yeah.
Autotune, like, such a useful tool, and I really need to use it more. Obviously carefully, but it's such an important thing in pop music. I don't know if I'd like to hear like, I don't know. Even Gregory Porter has pitch correction on his voice.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, that especially with this tune,
Not autotune.
yeah,
but pitch
yeah,
correction.
definitely. Yeah, like, and especially with this tune, Charlie did an interview about autotune because of this tune, because his voice. Remember, we were having that discussion about perfect pitch, and how like perfect pitch is half the battle to hit the note, and his voice is sometimes it struggles to hit the notes perfectly, and it drove him nuts when he was younger because he could hear that he wasn't quite hitting it, and then autotune helped him to learn how to sing because he could finally hear what he wanted it to sound like. And his voice is still great, and but like he's one of the few singers who spoke about it very openly, and there is no reason for any kind of stigma about it. Like it's you have to do so much work to make it sound good besides getting it absolutely perfectly on pitch.
Yeah, well, this the thing about autotune, because you know then you've naturally. Have you know, you would have obviously sung in a, you sing in a choir, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you hold a note and the chord changes, say you go from, what's a good example? Let's say you go from playing a 2/5, singing in an ensemble, right? And you're going, so you're singing the fifth, you're singing D. I mean, in D minor 7, going to G dominant 7th, going to C major 7.
Yeah.
You're singing A, the fifth
Yeah,
of
yeah.
D. Now, A, the fifth of any chord has to be perfectly in tune. That is a given. If it's a
Mhm.
fifth, it needs to be in tune. But if you then singing, say we're going to hold that note now, and you're going to sing a 9, you can then shift that note now because you're creating a new color.
Mm.
Depending on how everyone else goes, and have you never felt that feeling like maybe you've held a note but the chord moved or inverted or did something, and or you actually sang flatter or sharper, like maybe you went 4 minor,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
No.
know, and then you sing, and even though you holding the same note, all of a sudden you change and you switch because it's like naturally it's what a sweet sound to our ear to sing certain notes and certain tones. Like a minor third, you want to sing it a bit sharp, and
Mm.
a major third, you want to sing it a bit flat.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so like those are the interesting things that happen, and so that would naturally want to happen from you. So when you have perfect pitch, you notice that. But in a real life situation in studio, it's one thing, but in real life, you want to sing those things a little bit flat. They're not off sharp or whatever it is on
Mm.
those things. It gives character.
Yeah, yeah. No, I felt that in one held chord.
Mm.
Like where as everyone settles into the notes, into the chord, you start beating differently, and
Yeah.
when you feel that lack of feeling, you stick with it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
you slowly get that blend right.
Mm.
It happens, especially with close harmony stuff, like the jazz stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, and like the altered stuff as well. Like you let it sit. You don't force it. Like
Mm.
yeah, you have to be flexible within that. And the thing is that that's the difference between pop music and a lot of other music. Where in pop they don't want you to be flexible. They want you to be on it. And we're still human. It's an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
depends. It depends. I think
Yeah, I know.
it's still dependent
It depends on what you're looking for.
because still in pop, you see, you're gonna auto tune most things, and then there's certain things that need to not be auto tuned.
Mm.
There's moments where you have to just bypass that, so that um, if that note was supposed to be flat.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
But 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why I like him. Like he's got a.
So I checked it. He produced it himself, along with this guy named Jacob Kasher,
Hmm.
which I don't really know who he is,
Yeah, me neither.
but I don't really know many things, anyways.
Yeah, he's been working with Benny Blanco nowadays.
I googled him as well now, just so he's hip. He's more of a composer though. He
Mm.
also says co-written with him, but he produced it. It's really cool.
Mm.
It's really cool when you hear guys like producing their own stuff, writing their own things. It's becoming more common. There was a time when it wasn't that common,
Mm.
and I think that was when labels were punching a lot of money into projects like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the early days before digital streaming. Now, like there isn't that kind of budgets. It's not available to have like 50 producers on an album.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I say he feels like a grassroots kind of pop thing where you can hear everything that's going on, and it's still really nice.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so that's why I like him. Like it's kind of, if as a pop guy now, where it's kind of like it's my input, and then I might bother you about it, and that's all I've got.
What's this?
In terms of if I'm busy writing pop now, that's
Yeah.
that's the kind of input I'm gonna get. There's not gonna be like 50 producers on the track, and it does make a difference to how the track ends out. So that's why I like him, because I can kind of hear that. I kind of get that feel from his music, which I enjoy.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also albums like Frank Ocean's Channel Orange where there was a lot of producers on it, but it doesn't mean that it got busy because sometimes he would send it to a producer, and I would imagine that a producer didn't add something, he just took something out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be the selling moment, that you had all these things and certain things got pulled out in certain parts, added and subtracted and created and built, and you know, the art of a producer is not necessarily adding things. Sometimes it's just taking away and mixing. A good
Yeah,
mixing
yeah.
engineer can also decide he has a bit of leg room to like go, look, that's not working, I'm just gonna mute that section. Like that thing. Um, and you can hear it, and there's nothing wrong with it. The same as that Billie Eilish thing. It's whole album is quite bare,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
That's what I like.
there's nothing wrong with it. That's kind of
I enjoy the minimalist approach of things.
Are you able to write minimalist music?
Yeah, I have.
Really, Daniel?
Yeah, I have.
I struggle with that myself. It's a tough one.
Oh, it,
Because-
it depends on how you define minimalism.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You
yeah.
haven't. What I mean is like that minimalist. Really simple riff, really simple lyrics competing, and basically two themes.
Yeah. Well, 3 teams, but yeah.
Sort of. I mean,
Yeah.
the one is just a bull, as just a mixture of the two.
No, it's the verse,
Mm.
the chorus,
Mm.
and then the final interlude.
No, but what I'm talking about in the forms of, I'm talking about production.
Oh, from
Sorry.
production. Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Because basically it was like the same thing the whole time.
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
You
No, I
basically
got
had
you,
like the
yeah.
full thing, and then you had the bass,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
and
yeah.
then you had like the other full thing.
Okay.
I can't remember everything right now.
You see our different perspectives when you listen to the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm listening to the.
I didn't listen to
structure.
any of the words.
Yeah. Here we go again. I didn't even take down the treble and put up the bass, and you still didn't hear the fucking.
Nice one.
Yeah. Throwback. Yeah.
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 So,
So,
but-
that's what I like about him.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, that's the art, man. That's the art to like keep it simple.
Mm.
I need to learn from that.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. I like him because of that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do you have something else to show me of his?
Of his, not really. That was kind of the tune.
Okay.
Yeah. The rest, because the rest are made in a very similar way. So I don't. You know what I mean? Like they're not the same.
No,
like,
no.
There's different things. Like actually, wait. Let me show you the way
Let
he
me
uses.
show you another one.
What? You want to show another one?
Like another video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, one thing in the comments that was speaking of the comments, in this one, people are very happy that he wrote like an adultery song, and in the official video, there are no like bikini women. It's just like him dancing around the city. They're like, oh, this is great. Like finally a pop video without it.
Yeah, that's a big thing actually.
Yeah.
Does having like naked chicks make you watch the video? Like if they weren't naked chicks? Because you see, why I can't answer the question is because I don't watch the videos anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. Not for me personally as well. You know me. I'm
That's
a
what I'm
nerd.
saying. Does sex
Like-
really sell that much? I don't know.
It depends on what you're trying to sell.
I'm trying to sell myself. You know, we musicians, we selling ourselves.
Yeah. I think it does. Like to an extent. Like in terms of if you're nice to look at, you know what I mean. That does make a difference.
It's a pity for us.
Yeah, I know.
So we got to sell ourselves then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love us, viewers. Nice comments. We're feeling a bit low right now. Oh, by the way, speaking of something you'll like about Charlie Puth, he recently went bald.
You went
He went bald.
bold.
Yeah.
Like, so he became stronger.
No. So he cut all his hair off. Yeah, he
Oh,
went
bald.
bald.
Bold. Not bold. We're in the States, you man. That was a terrible States accent. That's why I don't speak. That's why I'm a pianist.
I don't know why I'm allowed to speak like this. Oh man.
Me neither, really.
Yeah, true.
Anyways.
Yo, we're talking so much shit on this one. Like,
Well, how would he cut his hair?
I don't know. He just did.
How does he look?
He looks pretty cool.
Let's
Like,
see.
he's
Charlie Puth, bold.
bald. That's what I say. I can't help it.
Well, learn to speak correctly.
I do. Bald.
Looks weird.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's grown back really a bit.
Yeah.
Is this him? No.
No, that's not him.
Doesn't really show. No, he doesn't look that bad. I thought that was him, but that's not him.
Yeah, no, he looks pretty cool. And he's a bit buffer as well, so it kind of plays into it a bit.
It does help to be buff and bald.
Yeah. Remember those days? No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Those days are coming back, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know.
He looks pretty badass, yeah. Yes. I got some ginger tea
Mm-hmm.
for my life.
Nice.
Okay, so I brought George Duke to the table.
George Duke.
Pianist and singer, composer, producer. Yes. That would be correct. Anyways, yeah. So he all round like ridiculous. I'll maybe go through some of his credits later. So many things open here.
Mm.
Take that out. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Okay.
so it's not this one. This one. So George Duke,
Mm-hmm.
kind of done it all. He's played with like everybody. I'm gonna play a couple of examples, and then we can chat about him. I think this will be maybe one of the first times that you've heard him
Yeah,
properly.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, you see. So interesting. We studied music together. Okay. George Duke is not someone that is necessarily spoken about at college at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm a pianist, so that's my interest in him. But I just find people like him and Bob James and such melodic players, such perfectionists, without sacrificing emotion and feel and just
Mm.
Anyway, so this is a song of his called "It's On," but it's really cool because this is a live show. An interview by these legends. So it was an interview of George Duke, Lee Ritenour, and Marcus Miller, who have all been really influential in the jazz industry in various different ways. Many all Grammy Award winning artists.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they play live together. And obviously Marcus Miller is the bass player, and Lee Ritenour is a guitar player, and then George Duke is the pianist keyboard player. And then they're joined by Vinnie Colaiuta, who's the drummer. It's just insane.
Cool.
There's a couple of things that blow me away by this. Let's listen. Anyways, get the vibe, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he can sorry. He can he's got the smooth jazz down. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me play you something else. Anyways, so now you can play nice jazz, and he's got a great voice,
Yeah.
and he's got really famous for some of his voices. So this is on the same album. So I just want to show you just one more side of his numerous sides of his playing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, jazz, man, he's flipping a serious jazz musician.
Yeah, it's great.
Like he's all around, could play with anyone.
Definitely.
So let me just tell you who he played with.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the interesting. I mean, besides his own stuff, so like some of his own things, he won Grammy Awards. He was nominated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He won 2.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, as a pianist, he actually won the best jazz vocal albums twice in a row.
Oh, nice.
But he's a pianist, you know.
Yeah.
He actually started learning to sing when he was with Frank Zappa.
Oh, nice.
Frank said, "You're the only one that's not doing anything in the band, so you need to sing." It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of started singing. We'll get back to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, okay, so here's what I find interesting. His discography is unreal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm gonna just list a couple of big names that he played with, and this is how I took this from. Is I can learn so much from someone like this because of his versatility. I don't want to be a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play with a tearing jazz musician who's playing modern jazz, and then a tearing jazz musician who's playing classic jazz, and then I want to play with a pop star. I want to play with an R&B star. I want to play. I love it all. I love all music. I love house. I love EDM. I love music.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of that. I mean, so check this out. So he played with Cannonball Adderley, and anyone that doesn't know jazz, one of the top jazz saxophonists of all time, played with his brother Nat Adderley. He played with Anita Baker.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so here's the thing: Stanley Clarke,
Mm-hmm.
Billy Cobham. He was the keyboard player for Earth, Wind and Fire on the album Touch the World. Okay.
That's insane.
Okay. Joe Henderson.
Oh, wow.
He was the keyboard player for Michael Jackson's Off the Wall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, and then Paul Jackson Jr., who was the drummer, was the guitar player for that same album as well. Great smooth jazz, pop guitar player,
Mhm.
and then Al Jarreau, and
Oh,
you can
okay.
hear his voice sounds similar to Al Jarreau's as well. Hey, I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it,
When
yeah.
I first listened to the album, I didn't realize it was him singing. I thought it was Al Jarreau singing.
Yeah, I can hear why you made that
And then
equivocation.
I
Yeah.
found out that anyways. Okay, then Quincy Jones, 4 albums with Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm skipping a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
And then Lee Ritenour, obviously, Sonny Rollins,
Oh wow.
John Scofield, I
Yeah.
love. I'm listening the Whisperers, Nancy Wilson, Frank Zappa. Look at this is like ridiculous amount of albums. And then this is where things get interesting for me. He was the keyboard player for Michael McDonald.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that. Don't you know Michael McDonald?
No.
It's
I
Gavin
don't.
Minter's like one of his favorites.
Sorry, Gavin.
No man, great artist, pop. So like he played a lot of pop cats. Remember James Ingram,
Yes. Yeah. I know
um,
that name.
Michael McDonald. How can I not know Michael McDonald? Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael. Whoa! Editing. McDonald. Okay, you might know this song. You definitely know this. You have to know this one. Even if you don't, you'll know the rapper that did the remix of this one.
Oh, okay.
He was famous. So yeah, he played Michael McDonald, Gerald Albright. You must know Tony
Yeah. I know
Albright.
Gerald.
And then my favorite is obviously James Ingram. I absolutely love James Ingram. Okay, and then he's a producer.
Okay.
So he produced. I'm gonna skip names again. Diane Reeves, a
Mhm.
couple of her albums. Kirk Whalum's A Gospel According to Jazz. Diane Warwick. Christian McBride, Take Six, you know the
Yeah, I know
the
Take
group.
6, yeah.
Produced at Joe Sample. He produced an album for another pianist, Joe Sample.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
like it's really cool. Natalie Cole, Al Jarreau, Marilyn Scott, Stanley Clark, a lot of jazz guys as well. The Winans, Heart and Soul.
Mhm.
Diane Reeves again. Gladys Knight, Anita Baker. Yeah, just it's crazy. So he's got experience across the board. You know what I mean? Like playing from jazz to pop to everything. Like he's literally done everything. You know, smooth jazz, rock. You know, it's crazy. I mean, look how long this list is of albums he's produced.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, he's a busy guy.
I mean, this is insane. Going all the way now. We're only now in 1984, and he started long before this.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. The Breaker Brothers, he produced an album for them.
Oh, beautiful.
You know what I mean? Didi Bridgewater,
Mm.
Flora Purim. Just, I mean, it's insane. So, I mean, it's easy to understand why this would be someone that I look up to a lot as a pianist producer. Want to be. Obviously, production in my mind this day and age is different to what it was then.
Yeah.
And how he would have been producing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as I do enjoy producing sort of instrumental stuff, I'm really down for electronic things. And so, like, my mind of production is more like the way a hip hop producer or a house producer would think as a producer. You know what I mean? Like, different as in those days, a producer was more just another musician who gave like the final input to make the track from being this to radio friendly. As nowadays, the concept of producer is more like, oh, he made the beat. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of like somewhere in between that. You know, as a musician who plays an instrument and works with musicians who plays instruments all the time, and then also being able to lay down beats. Give me a beat there. Yeah, so just unbelievable musician with so much depth, so much perfection, so much. Yeah, just really had nice stage presence on stage, really friendly and a lot of fun and getting the crowd going. And I really appreciated his contribution to music.
Yeah, man.
Some of the songs that he worked on are some of my favorites.
Sounds really
And
cool.
they were my favorites before I knew, and it just kind of, when I found that out, it just got digging deeper and deeper, and I just like, you can't not like this guy from my side. You know, from what he did.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Nah. No, I mean, this one, I think you kind of covered it, man. Like, I mean, I don't really know him, so I don't have too much to say. I mean,
Yeah.
just great musician. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you would have heard him definitely because you would have heard some of the albums that he worked on. You wouldn't have necessarily known that it was him.
Mm.
You know, being a jazz musician, he played on so many important, not that many important jazz songs, but like enough that you would have heard him, and
Yeah,
with
yeah.
enough vocalists,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, and without knowing, you'd have checked out that you know,
Yeah.
very cool. Anyways,
Awesome.
back to you, Brie.
And we're back. Um, so after that lovely jazz interlude,
That's brilliant. Oh God. Now back to the real music.
yeah, back to pop.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
to all the to most of the listeners who are listening to this, welcome back. Um,
I'm done.
so, there's three different. You get three different Ed Sheerans basically. You get a ballad, you get a love song, and you get you get a song that's influenced by R&B and rap.
It's funny you say ballad and then love song because it's interesting. I've been using ballad wrong. Well, even now and then I use ballad wrong because ballad is slow,
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean it's a love song.
yeah,
But that's like the sort of the misconception.
yeah.
Interesting that you said that. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry.
Anyway, and I just found it interesting that when you listen to I've heard people talk about him on other podcasts, and they talk about how much they love Ed Sheeran, but they didn't love him until they heard the stuff that's more influenced by rapping and R&B because they love R&B and rap music, and it was kind of a way in for them with him because otherwise he's quite folky, you know, and that's a very different thing, and most R&B and rap fans will not enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know you get like people that there are certain people out there that literally only listen to one type of music.
Yeah.
Like you get people that are just like house heads, rock heads. You know, like they refuse to listen to anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are able to bring in people that are completely into one genre and bring them out of that a little bit into your genre, you're doing a great thing for music, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, opening people's ears, because eventually, if they dig it enough, you know, Spotify's playlist or whatever, you know, takes you to something else, and you know, you open your mind to something else.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing about him, and also what he's done with his last album is he's basically blown that out the water and become 15 different Ed Sheerans, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so let me play some of his stuff.
It's a really beautiful song, and it's a really nice topic story.
Yeah, yeah, it's basically his version of Roxanne.
I was about to say.
Yeah, yeah.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like, and that was just from his first album. Eh?
It's so simple. I mean, I've never heard that song before.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, I guess it's not radio friendly, but it's a beautiful song.
Yeah. And you know, there's a rap that goes with it that he doesn't do on this version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Himself.
No, he has another guy.
Okay.
Yeah, although he does rap. So let me show you the rapper. Yeah. So that, I mean, obviously, like his music is a lot more diverse than that. I'm just kind of breaking it down into the simplest versions of it. I'd like to explain in this particular setting. Just thinking now, but yeah, those. If you're looking for a ballpark, that's kind of the three roles he takes up. And you know, I personally think he will. Like he's written some absolutely beautiful tunes. And you know, the thing is that not every song on the album is going to become the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes it's so difficult to say what's going to be timeless, because in today's day and world, today's day and time,
Day and age.
back. There was a time when Roxanne would have played on radio.
Yeah.
That song is not going to play on radio.
No.
There's almost no way that song's going to play on radio. If it doesn't play on radio, it's very hard for that song to be timeless. Because I feel like it has to be a song that's going to be played on radio and then continually played on radio.
Yeah.
You know, like when we still hear songs from the 80s, from the 90s, the noughties being played now.
Yeah.
Because they were, but we won't hear songs that weren't played on radio played now.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part.
Mm.
Um, and obviously there'll be people that will be, but I mean, it's hard to say because we're in this generation, and we all only know when we, when we get to a generation when our peers and our generation are the controllers, the money holders of the world, and deciding what is pop, because obviously the stakeholders are the guys that decide what is pop, what is on radio. There could be a time when we grew up on a certain music that wasn't played on radio that would now become part of radio because it's our golden hits kind of thing.
Mm. Yeah,
It's so
definitely.
hard to say.
Yeah, it's very
It'd be
difficult to
interesting to
say.
ask someone, an older person, to ask them, were there songs that didn't play on radio that are playing on radio now?
Yeah.
But you'd have to ask a broad spectrum and it'd have to be like, it would have to be a big thing because someone may just have not have been exposed to it, listening to a different radio station. You know how
Mm-mm.
different, some radio stations don't play each other's music, so it's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's
Mm.
very hard to say. I don't know. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like I'm a producer expert or a music expert to be able to watch trends and stuff and know what happened.
Mm.
It's interesting, but it's great music, man.
Yeah, it's fantastic music. I really love him. Um, and I think the next song of his that I quickly want to play for you will transition us into an artist that I think you want to talk about.
Okay.
So recently, what I said when I said that Ed Sheeran with like some of his most recent album will show his diversity.
Mm.
Um, one of the things he did was he did a hard rock song,
Mm.
which I really love. It's my favorite song on the album.
Mm.
And part of it is because Bruno Mars was
Okay.
heavily involved.
Okay.
And what he did with this song was beautiful, man.
Okay.
And I
Cool.
love Bruno. Yeah.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Bruno is the Ronaldinho of music, guys. Let it be known.
True.
Mm,
It's cool.
yeah. And even like that like clipping dynamic sound. I love that.
Yeah, there's this soft. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Old school. You're just
Old
pushing
school.
at the tape. The saturation.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was very cool.
Yeah. So that's Ed.
Eddie.
Yeah. A current great.
Cool. I mean,
Mm.
so the other person that I wanted to speak about was Bruno Mars, and he's been able to, and what we will see soon enough with new releases, how he's always been on the brink of commercial.
Mm.
Like he's always been on the outskirts of what's in and what's popular. Do you know what I mean? Like even when he was quite commercial, it was still like like that "Marry You" song. It was a ballad that still managed to stay on radio. Well, a love song ballad. Really bare bones, simple song. But he broke out with that "Treasure,"
Mm.
and that was him transitioning into like this old school sound that he brought back. And it's like it's like he went to the R&B side of old school, and then Ed went to the rock side of old school, but it's the same concept,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
makes it so fresh, because it's like, wow, it's not it's fresh because it's done, it's old.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool thing about it. It's not like, oh, we're not recreating the wheel, we're just using what was cool, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's cool because like it's still new enough for, I mean, like both rock and R&B have always had hits throughout, but you know how phases go, and then it's house is the big thing, and then it's EDM, and then it's trap, or whatever, like the mainstream things, and now hip hop is back, rap is back,
Yeah.
with Bruno came just before that with his R&B sound, and it seems like rock is having a comeback again as well, and all from different eras that have been before, and it's just always gonna cycle round and around, and it's really cool, and the way that Bruno, what captivates me is not just similar to Ed Sheeran in that sense, like great in studio, put together some of the most amazing pieces of music, and then goes and plays the crap out of a gig, energy, and rearranging his songs, and new hits, and just making it interesting. And then you'll watch like the same song perform at different venues, and they're always different.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll turn it up, and he'll turn the one song into a salsa. Change this up, or add hits so he can dance a little bit more. Like a mini Michael Jackson of this era, you know,
Yeah.
in the sense of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and still keeping a clean killer voice, you know, and still holding it down because like Ed Sheeran does amazing stuff, but he's still standing still. To be able to dance,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, Beyonce style, like to be able to dance and sing at the same time, and keep it on. Like what's that Coachella gig of Beyonce? Like they say, it was unreal,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I've heard about that.
unreal.
Yeah.
I watched the thing. It's ridiculous, you
Mm.
know, the professionalism of these artists.
Mm.
And I just think Bruno's is I don't know if he's yet timeless. It's again, it's not something that I'm making a statement to because the only people we can call timeless are people that have tested time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I do feel that he's been able to keep up with trends without conforming to trends, and I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
He really set a trend on his own.
Mm.
Completely, he went his own direction and he killed it.
Definitely.
I mean, he wasn't the first person to do it. I mean, you can go check out. Like I just came across a couple of tracks on Apple Music where it was like someone was done before him. But he just did it better. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it comes down to that, man. He just was able to, you know, market it better and put it together. And there's something to be said about the amount of effort he puts in and the amount of hard work that anyone puts in pays off always.
Mm.
But no, you don't always see it now, but it always pays off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I must say, like, if there's one song of his that's gonna remain timeless for me, it's "When I Was Your Man."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think because just that song is just so perfect for for that conversation.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Exactly.
mean?
That
Like,
era where
that song that conversation is gonna be relevant for a long time. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Before
Yeah.
even this 24K thing
yeah, definitely.
and this new album, he was still already making bangers that stayed
Sure.
back then, and yet again in his own little genre where he's always kept it like live feeling, real drums, real
Yeah, I love
instruments,
it, man.
a little bit of mix of production, you know, like heavily produced, but I mean like extra, you know, synths doubling stuff and whatever. But it's always been like that live feel, that live energy, not taking himself too seriously, which is
Yeah.
a great thing I like about people. If you take yourself too seriously, then
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. But keeps it fun. What was that song? Da, 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 da,
I think I know what you're talking about. It's either
the pajama song. What's it?
It's either the Bored or the Lonely song. Today I don't feel
Like
like doing
doing- yeah, exactly.
anything. And then he had an old school male choir behind him.
Yeah, well, that's what he always has now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always got his backup singers and it was just a lot of fun, man. Up, man, have fun. I mean, if music is not fun, then what's the point? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
man, I love Bruno, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think anyone needs to see anything of his. We all know.
Yeah. If you don't know him, check him out, guys. Educate yourselves.
Yeah.
He's a G. Okay, I'll cut that one out.
Don't have to cut it out.
I'm only kidding. A
My
little bit.
eyes are burning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Should I go to my last guy or
Yeah,
okay?
because we don't need to go to my last guy.
Okay.
Because we don't need to go to my last guy.
Who was your last? Oh yeah, your last. Yeah, yeah. If you don't know Michael Jackson, where the fuck have you been?
Oh man,
He's literally the ABCs of pop music.
you know,
Um,
the interesting thing is my son is so into him right now. Let's talk about him quickly before we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to Sting,
yeah,
because
yeah.
this will be a short conversation.
Sure.
And so we've been having to put on a lot of Michael Jackson videos, and Daniel's like kind of copying. He's a bit young still, but kind of copying some moves and trying to learn the lyrics, you know, and every day in the car. And I promise that music never gets tiring.
Yeah,
Because I'm
yeah.
listening to it again for like the 5 billionth time, you know, and it's just, it's unreal. And the thought that went into it, the fact that he was even able to captivate you with these long intros, which did nothing. You know, like just like so many things about him was just crazy, and his live performances were unreal. And it was quite funny because we watched this one video. I can't remember which one it was on live performance, and the backup singers were terrible. Oh my word, it was so bad. And you know, we like go hating on ourselves, and we have these like slightly crappy. I mean, the band was kidding, and he was kidding, but the backup singers were. When the backup singers, they did one of the songs. I think it was like Earth Song, one of those ones, you know, where there's no, it's not Earth Song. What's that one? There was a whole lot of singers, and Michael was one of them. It's one of those, you know, there's human rights things or whatever. And so each backup singer took one of the other people's lines and it sang great. The minute they're singing backing vocals, it didn't sound. You get hard on yourself when you do these gigs and you sing backup and you sound like terrible because you end up shouting and stuff. It was exactly that, and then that's at the highest level.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
Michael Jackson never booked nonsense people
Yeah, no,
ever.
no, no, no,
It was
no.
rigorous in audition processes and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
so
So I
they're
mean,
probably amazing singers. Just had a bad day.
yeah, and I mean that just shows you like how hard music can be, man, or like life. That
Yeah,
you can
life.
practice however much you want to be, and things just happen and whatever.
Yeah, man.
We don't have to kill ourselves over nonsense.
Yeah.
But anyways, the perfectionist, the king of pop, um, transformed a lot. Both when it came to like kind of fighting race problems at the time. I mean, he wasn't the first, he wasn't the only, but he was a contributor to opening up white people's minds to the ability of black people. Like we, that whole thing, the same as Tiger Woods. We are just as good, black people.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
And definitely a contributor to that. Went through his crap, and it's pretty hectic what he did and the things that happened. But I mean, there's that argument like, does the mistakes he made, does it affect his music? Because I do not condone. I am no for the stuff. But if we separate that, we just go the music.
Yeah.
You can appreciate that, I feel.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, sure. It's a difficult conversation.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
It's very complicated.
You can't ignore it.
Yeah, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, there's so many aspects to it. But I mean, I still.
Yeah.
You gotta appreciate, man. You gotta give credit where credit's due, and
yeah, definitely.
He's done something. He's done good. He's done bad. We all do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
Sure.
To your person.
Yeah, to my person. I think it's someone that you also brought up earlier because I mentioned him in passing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sting. Yeah, Sting is someone I've been checking out recently more. He was a massive part of my childhood. The 10 Summer's Tales and Brand New Day are the two albums that I listen to a lot. Absolutely love him. I love the fact that he does so much with one album. It does a lot of different things. And
it's the musicians he used as well here.
Yeah, he used some crazy stuff. I love it. Have you seen those sessions like in his house?
Yeah,
where he does 10 Summer's Tales.
Is that the one where it's his 50th birthday or something, or 60th birthday?
No. Before that. I'm not talking about the Italian Mansion gig where you use all the jazz musicians. That was also amazing.
Yeah.
But for 10 Summer's Tales, when it came out originally, he recorded a whole lot of music videos in this house.
No, I haven't actually seen that.
Like a country house, and you just see all the music. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, I've seen snippets of his stuff, but I mean, I haven't watched. Like again, I'm not a music video guy. The only time I actually watch things like that, like the only reason I know of his party at his Italian mansion is because my uncle played it at an event at his house. That's the only way that I watched that thing. Like I'm not. I don't know. I listen to music. I don't necessarily watch music.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's just, yeah, it's a different preference, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, but like I must say, like Sting is an influence on me. I think you might realize when you listen to it and you think about my music, like in terms of where he loved taking a song in one place and then taking it to a completely different place. And I also quite enjoy doing that.
Next time I listen to him, I'm gonna think about that.
I'll play you an example of that now, actually. Yeah, I just think he's very interesting. He checked out a lot of people. Like, I think he'd be one of the few American pop artists to use an imam on a track. You know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people loved him. Besides the fact that he's a good musician.
Great musician. Yeah.
Sure.
He was good looking, man.
Yeah, he was. Except
my wife says.
Except for that quiff in I'm so happy that I can't stop crying. Sting, what were you doing, bro? Like
it's rough.
I love you, but I'm sorry, man.
Look, man. My wife said, was it about Sting or was it about Chris Body? I can't remember. She said, if he came to me, I'd leave you. Straight up. It's like, I'd respect that.
Probably Sting.
I'd leave her for Sting.
Oh, man.
Nah, he's got a thing, man. He's charming.
Yeah, he's really cool.
He's amazing.
Yeah, let me play a couple of tracks that I really like. Yeah, so you started that vibe, and then halfway through, because the whole thing is a morality tale where it's a petrol attendant. He was busy shoveling gas, doing that kind of thing, and then a rich guy pulls up, and he wants to steal all the cash from his boss, get in the car, and drive away while the guy's out of the car. And also the guy's got a pretty wife. that's kind of the story. And after that, it becomes like he goes into this whole gospel vibe from that. Yeah, and just that song goes in so many different directions, and they're all just so great. I love them, especially that last bit. It's quite fun.
Jason Rubello. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Stevie Wonder was on this album.
Praying for Marcellus. It's crazy, man. The musicians you got to work with.
Oh, that's great.
Well, the musicians that got to work with him as well, because it's mutual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I love what he did with a whole lot of tracks.
Should see Bruno Mars doing the Kennedy Center honors that he got awarded.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the Kennedy Center. They do they have other people cover your music. Bruno Mars kills his music, man.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And Gregory Porter does the. I can't remember. He did 2, 3. No.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember him killing it.
And then Gregory Porter also did one.
Yes, he did. He also killed it.
Oh man.
I think he did It's Probably Me.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember that was really great. Yeah, I love Sting, man. And like he did this fantastic TED talk called "How I Started Writing Songs Again."
Okay.
Because there was like a 7-year break between albums, something like that.
Didn't he actually retire?
Yeah, but like he was still writing music. He was still trying to write music, from what he was saying. Yeah, and he ended up writing about the shipyard where he came from, in England. English artist. My bad. Yeah, and it's a really, really powerful TED talk.
Oh, let's watch it.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes. You're not gonna watch it now. Yeah. I'll put it in the description once I've finished editing this. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Sting is that he's also someone who stayed relevant for a very, very long time.
Yes, and he's just got that new song out with Shaggy.
Yes, that was hilarious.
That's an interesting combination of two dead musicians. Sorry.
Oh, one more than the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Sting's got another album out now.
Yeah.
In 2019. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no, but I love Sting, man. He's
see that video of him. Oh, I'm tired, guys. It's so late. It's like 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
That video of his 60th birthday or something where Christian McBride says like one of the reasons he played double bass was because of Sting.
Yeah.
That video. What song is it from? Where he's still with the Police. He's playing the double bass in the music video. Yeah, I think it was the Police was cool because they used to do both.
Yeah,
used that bass and double bass in the songs. It's really cool.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, man, amazing musicians.
Some amazing musicians. I think that's kind of the natural end of this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check out all those musicians. Let us know what you think in the comments about anything. Anything else you want to say about the musicians in the comments, please let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening.
You can also comment about my socks.
Yes.
If you like.
Yeah. We'll start a poll on Facebook about Blake's socks.
No,
we won't.
No.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. See you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.